If everything in your life feels like it's collapsing right now, you're not broken. You're being rebuilt. Sometimes life has to fall apart so the right pieces can fall into place. This might just be the moment that changes everything for you. You're tired. You're numb. You're pretending everything's fine, but it's not. If that's you right now, you need to hear this. Sometimes the hardest part of faith is trusting God when life doesn't make sense. Some of the hardest moments in life are the moments when God doesn't explain himself. Many people walk away from God because they cannot understand what he is doing. But the truth is, you don't follow God because you understand him. You follow God because you trust him. Have you ever noticed that God rarely explains what he is doing while he is doing it? Have you ever been in a situation where nothing made sense? You prayed, but the answer didn't come. You believed, but the situation didn't change. You trusted, but the storm kept raging. And in these moments, the question begins to creep into your mind: God, what are you doing? The truth is, many people think faith means understanding everything God is doing. But that's not faith. Faith is trusting God when you don't understand what he is doing. Let me say that again. You don't follow God because you understand him. You follow God because you trust him. Because if you only follow God when things make sense, you're not really following God. You're following your own understanding. And the Bible warns us about that. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Notice what it says. Lean not on your own understanding. Why? Because there will be moments where your understanding will fail you. Your logic will fail you. Your perspective will fail you. But God never will. The reason we struggle with trusting God is because we only see a small part of the picture. We see the moment. God sees the future. We see the pain. God sees the purpose. We see the delay. God sees the preparation. Imagine watching only 10 seconds of a movie and trying to understand the entire story. You would think nothing makes sense. But God is writing the entire story of your life. And sometimes the scenes that look confusing, painful, or unfair are actually the scenes God uses to shape your destiny. Think about Abraham. God told him to leave his home, his family, his comfort, and go to a place that God would show him later. God didn't give him the full plan. God didn't show him the map. God didn't explain every step. God simply said, "Go." And Abraham obeyed. Not because he understood, but because he trusted. That is faith. Faith says, "God, I don't understand what you're doing, but I trust who you are." Then look at Job. Job lost his wealth. Job lost his health. Job lost his children. Everything in his life collapsed. And if anyone had a reason to question God, it was Job. Even Job didn't understand what was happening. But Job said something powerful. "Though he slay me, yet will I trust him." That's a different level of faith. That's the kind of faith that says, even if I don't understand, I still trust God. Because trust is not built on explanations. Trust is built on relationship. Even Jesus showed us what trust looks like. In the Garden of Gethsemane, before the cross, Jesus prayed, "Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me." In other words, God, if there's another way. But then Jesus said the words that define true trust. "Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." Jesus trusted the Father's plan, even when it meant walking through suffering. And because Jesus trusted the plan of God, salvation came to the world. Sometimes, what looks like pain in your life is actually part of God's greater plan. Many people struggle with God because they want God to explain everything. But if God explained everything, there would be no need for faith. Faith means walking with God without seeing the full path. It's like driving through fog at night. Your headlights only show you a few feet ahead. But that's enough to keep moving. God barely shows you the entire road. He shows you the next step. The reason we can trust God is because of who He is. God is faithful. God is good. God is just. God is loving. And if God has proven His faithfulness before, you can trust Him again. Think about your own life. There were moments when you didn't know how things would work out. But somehow, God made a way. Doors opened. Provision came. Healing came. Strength came. You made it through things you thought would break you. Why? Because God was faithful then. And the same God who carried you then will carry you now. Sometimes the things we don't understand are actually God protecting us. The relationship that didn't work out, the job you didn't get, the door that slammed shut. You thought it was a rejection, but sometimes it's protection. God sees dangers you cannot see. He sees outcomes you cannot predict. And because He loves you, He sometimes says no. When you stop trying to understand everything and start trusting God, something powerful happens. You find peace. Because now the pressure is no longer on you to figure everything out. You simply trust the one who already knows. You trust the one who holds tomorrow. You trust the one who holds your life. Real faith says yes to God before knowing the outcome. Yes before the miracle. Yes before the breakthrough. Yes before the explanation. And when you live with that kind of trust, God begins to move in powerful ways. If you're listening right now and life doesn't make sense, if you're in a season of confusion, if you're asking God why, remember this truth. You don't follow God because you understand Him. You follow God because you trust Him. One day, the things that confuse you now will make sense later. But until that day, trust Him. Trust Him in the storm. Trust Him in the waiting. Trust Him in the silence. Because the God who began a good work in you will be faithful to finish it. And the story God is writing in your life is far greater than anything you can understand right now. Please subscribe, like, and share this video. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you'll receive notification that another video has been added. Thank you for watching.